Reuters has published a report on the huge cyber attacks that recently targeted the United States, and how foreign pirates have accessed important U.S. networks, noting that cybersecurity services focus on penetrating the enemy lines and are unable to defend their institutions. The agency recalled that General Paul Nakasone, head of the National Security Agency and Cyber Command in the United States, boasted during a private dinner for the most prominent executives in the technology security sector, at a hotel in San Francisco on February 26, of the capabilities of the two institutions to protect the country from spies, saying the American units understand the opponents more than they understand them. The agency added that a time series published by Microsoft and more than 10 researchers in the government and private cyber sectors reported that while the general was delivering his speech, hackers were planting a malicious program in a network of a software company in Texas, SolarWinds Corp. After more than 3 weeks of that dinner, the hackers began a massive intelligence operation, infiltrating substantial government agencies and many institutions in the United States, and other companies in the world. The results of that operation were revealed on December 13, after Reuters reported that hackers, suspected of being Russians, had access to the email of the U.S. Treasury and Commerce Department. Since then, officials and researchers believe that at least 6 U.S. government agencies have been hacked, and that the malicious program has infected thousands of companies, in what appears to be one of the largest breaches that have been revealed. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo accused Moscow of carrying out the attack, describing it as a grave danger to the United States. But Russia has denied any involvement. Reuters considered that the attack reflects a new level, in terms of its sophistication and extent, as it included federal agencies, threatening to inflict greater damage to public confidence in the U.S. infrastructure, in the field of cybersecurity, than any previous electronic espionage operations. Much of this damage remains unknown, as is the motive and ultimate goal of the attack. 7 U.S. government officials told Reuters that they are largely ignorant of what information may have been stolen or tampered with, or what is needed to remedy the damage. The mystery took years to solve. The last time U.S. federal systems were suspected of being hacked by Russian intelligence services, when hackers gained access to unclassified email systems in the White House, State Department, and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, in 2014 and 2015. U.S. President Donald Trump played down the importance of the hacking process and Russia's involvement in it, insisting that things are under control, and that China is likely to be behind the operation. However, the National Security Council acknowledged that there had been a dangerous cyber accident. There will be an appropriate response to those responsible for this behavior, said Council spokesman John Olliott. He did not respond to a question about whether Trump had evidence of Chinese involvement in the attack. Members of Congress, from both the Republican and Democratic parties, said that they are making great efforts to obtain answers from the ministries they oversee, including the Treasury Department. A Senate employee said his boss had learned more details of the attack from the media than the government had shared. The hack was exposed last week, when the American cybersecurity firm, FireEye, revealed that it had been exposed to a cyber attack. At first it seemed that the accident was often embarrassing for the company. But security company penetration has its own risk, because their tools are often connected to their customers' computer systems. Days before the breach was revealed, company researchers learned of an unusual occurrence and contacted Microsoft and the FBI. The essence of the message was that FireEye was exposed to an exceptionally sophisticated cyber espionage campaign, carried out by a state, and that its problems may be just the tip of an iceberg. Reuters reported that about 6 researchers from FireEye and Microsoft began to investigate the matter, and concluded that the root of the problem was something terrifying to cybersecurity professionals, which is the use of software updates to install malicious programs that can spy on systems. Information leaks, and other disturbances may occur. And in 2017, Russian agents used this method to disable private and government computer systems across Ukraine, after hiding a malicious program called NotPetya in a program that is widely used in accounting. Moscow has denied involvement. The malware quickly spread to computers in dozens of other countries, disabling companies, and causing hundreds of millions of dollars in losses. And the recent hack in the United States used a similar technique, as SolarWinds announced the discovery of its software updates, and its use in installing a malicious program that infected about 18,000 systems in its customers. Hundreds of thousands of organizations use the company's Orion software to manage networks. Once downloaded from its site, the program signals attackers. And when access to the site is of particular importance, hackers sometimes use it to spread other, more active malware programs, to spread to the target system. In some attacks, hackers combine systems administrators' privileges granted to SolarWinds and Microsoft's Azure cloud platform, which stores customer data, to create an authentication card to verify identity. This gave hackers the potential to penetrate email and documents far greater than what many organizations believe is possible. And the National Security Agency announced, in an informative statement, that the hackers were able at that time to steal documents, through the Office 365 program created by Microsoft, which is the Internet version of its most widely used business program. And Microsoft announced Thursday that it had found the malicious program in its systems. and another informative statement issued by the U.S. Agency for Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security, on December 17, stated that the SolarWinds software is not the only tool used in the attacks, and it is likely that the same agency used other means to plant malicious software. These are powerful espionage skills, and we need to understand them in order to defend the important networks, Rob Joyce, a senior advisor to the National Security Agency, wrote on Twitter. It is not known how the SolarWinds systems came into effect, or when this would happen. Microsoft researchers and other companies investigating the attack say that hackers began tampering with the SolarWinds software in October 2019, months before the attack began. There is intense pressure on the White House to take action in this regard. Republican Senator Marco Rubio said, "America must respond, not just impose sanctions." Republican Senator Mitt Romney likened the attack, more than once, to allowing Russian bombers to fly over the United States, without being detected. As for Democratic Senator Dick Durbin, he called the attack a declaration of war. Reuters reported that Democratic members of Congress said that they obtained little information from the Trump administration, except for what was published in the media. Oliot declined to comment on the briefings of members of Congress.